Today I'll be showing you how to make fresh alkaline vegan pasta using Kamut flour. Let's get started. In a large bowl, you want to add 3 cups of white Kamut flour. You can also use spelt flour or rye flour for this recipe. It's really shocking that no one on YouTube has made this for alkaline vegans. Well, today you're in luck because this pasta is extremely tasty. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of pure sea salt. Using a whisk, give it a good mix. Add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of avocado oil. Add about 6 ounces of water. We're starting with 6 ounces, but we can adjust as needed. Using a spatula, mix to combine. Combine until there's no more water left. Once you're done mixing, if your flour seems too dry, add 3 more ounces of water. Once the water has been fully incorporated, scrape off stuck-on dough from the spatula. Now I'm ready to go in with my hands. This is going to be a sticky mess, but stay strong. Squeeze the dough using your hand and push down with your body weight. Do this repeatedly until the wet and dry parts of the flour are totally combined. Your dough will get really sticky, but that's okay. Make sure to set aside some extra flour for when your dough gets really sticky. Once your dough gets really sticky, add a tablespoon or 2 of white Kamut flour and start kneading in the bowl. What you don't want is your dough to be wet. If it's wet, feel free to add more flour. Once you're able to lift up the dough and the bottom of the bowl is clean, you're good to go. Sprinkle some white Kamut flour on the working surface. Yes, you can totally do this in a kitchen mixer. I don't know the settings because I never use mine. Place your dough on your working surface and begin kneading. We're going to be kneading for about 10 minutes. All you're doing is folding the dough over itself and pushing down and forward with the heel of your palm and your body weight. You can also get creative and use your fists, but if you're hairy like I am, your dough may end up looking furry like an alley cat. Once your dough stops sticking and it feels almost exactly like Play-Doh, throw your hat in the air because you've just graduated. Check your dough to make sure it's not too dry or too wet. Like I said, it should feel like Play-Doh. If you're using spelt or rye flour, the steps are pretty much the same. Now we're going to cover this dough and let it rest in the fridge for an hour so it can fully absorb all of the water we added earlier. Now that the dough is fully rested, we're going to knead it again for about 1 or 2 minutes. After resting in the fridge for 1 hour, you're going to find that your dough feels a little tighter. That's okay, and that's how it's supposed to feel if you did it right. After 1 or 2 minutes of kneading, you should be good to go. It's really important that you learn to make this dough because we'll be referring back to this video going forward. We're going to be working in small portions, so cut a small portion from your dough. Make sure to wrap up the larger dough and store it in a place where it won't dry up while you're working. Sprinkle some flour on your working surface and flatten your dough with your palms. Place your dough on your working surface, push down to flatten some more, then sprinkle some flour over it. Also flour your rolling pin and roll. Gently roll the dough just enough to fit into your pasta maker. You don't have to use a rolling pin. You can totally use your palms for this step. As you can see, I flattened my dough to about 1 inch thick. This will make it easier to fit into the pasta maker. Also, you can do this step in batches. Speaking of pasta makers, if you haven't watched my video from last week and you don't know how to make fresh pasta using a pasta maker, you should go back and watch it. This isn't absolutely necessary, but you can take off the cutter attachment from your pasta maker to make room to roll out your pasta. Set the adjustment dial on your pasta maker to 0, which is the widest setting. Grab your flattened dough and place it between the rollers. Gently turn the crank clockwise until your dough fully exits the other end. You don't have to rush this step. Take your time with it, as fresh pasta making is a labor of love. Carefully grab your dough as it exits the other end. This is what your dough should look like on your first run. Make sure you sprinkle some flour on the surface of the dough before passing it through the roller. Flour both sides, then pass it through your roller again while leaving the adjustment dial at 0. If you're enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram. Thank you. Now we're going to laminate our dough, and to do that, we're going to have to fold it like an envelope. Whatever you do, make sure it's narrower than the entire width of your rollers. Keep your adjustment dial at 0 and pass your dough through the rollers again. Now that you've got the hang of it, we're going to fold the dough and repeat the steps 3 more times with the dial set to 0. There's still lots of work to do. We'll continue when we get back. Welcome back. Now that we've properly laminated the dough, we're going to change the dial setting and roll it out to the proper thickness for the pasta we'll be making today. We'll be adjusting the dial in increments of 1 until we get to the right thickness. Switch your adjustment dial to 1, then pass your dough through the rollers. You'll notice your dough get longer as you go. That's how you know you're on the right path. Switch your adjustment dial to 2, then pass your dough through again. There's no need to fold it. On this machine, the higher you go, the thinner your dough gets. Today I'll be making some fettuccine and the recommended thickness setting is number 6. However, I like it thicker, so I'll be stopping at number 4. Feel free to follow the recommended thickness setting. This is just how I like it. As you can see, once you're done, your dough will almost be as long as Aladdin's carpet. Also, I don't think anyone wants to eat pasta as long as this, unless you have the neck of a giraffe. Cut your dough into 2 halves and start working with 1 half. Now we're moving on from rolling the dough to cutting the dough. We attach your pasta cutter attachment to the pasta maker. Pick up 1 half of your dough, then switch the hand crank to the hole for your pasta cutter of your choice. I'm switching mine to the fettuccine cutter. Place your dough between the cutters and turn your hand crank clockwise. That's just beautiful. Repeat the process for the second half of your dough. Let's take a closer look at this. No one will believe this is 100% alkaline. Check out how beautiful these are. I'm sure those 1-minute Instagram chefs will start making alkaline pasta now. Anyway, to keep your pasta strands from sticking, you need to toss them in some flour. Grab a handful of flour and sprinkle over your fresh pasta, then gently toss. Now let me show you how to make some tagliolini pasta. All you have to do is move the crank to the hole for the tagliolini cutter and turn. Note that I'm just showing you how to cut it. My dough isn't at the right thickness setting, but it came out okay. Alkaline vegans, these right here are your substitute noodles for making ramen. Now go tell your favorite 1-minute Instagram chef they can start making zucchini noodles. You know I'm just kidding, right? Do the same thing. Toss it in flour to stop it from sticking. This was an illustration. I'll show you the proper way to make tagliolini pasta. Fresh pasta is awesome, but trust me, fresh pasta made from white kamut flour will blow your socks off. Anyway, I know I'll be getting lots of questions about making this without a pasta machine. Let me show you how to make it. Cut off a small portion of your dough. Sprinkle some flour on your working surface, your dough, and your rolling pin. Start by flattening the dough with your palm, then start rolling it out with your rolling pin. Unlike the previous dough, we're rolling this out all the way. Flour both sides and keep rolling as you go. Roll out your dough so thin you'll be able to see the future through it. I'm just kidding. Just roll out your dough until you can almost see your fingers through it. As you can see, white kamut flour holds together really well, so don't be scared to handle the dough. Place your dough back on your working surface and generously sprinkle some flour over it. By the way, if you'd like to win my second pasta machine, follow me on Instagram. Using a knife, cut out 4 sides of the dough sheet to form a rectangle. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can use the scraps in this dish or you can use it for something else. Once you have your rectangle, gently fold it up without squishing it together. The goal is not to let it stick. Make sure there's enough flour on the surface of the dough to stop it from sticking while you roll it. To make it faster, you can fold both ends to overlap themselves. Just make sure they don't stick. Using a knife, cut out 1/4 inch wide strips from your folded up dough. After cutting the dough into strips, sprinkle some flour over the strips and loosen them up. As you can see, making fresh pasta without a pasta machine is quite easy, especially if you're making one portion. But if you're making more than one portion, I'll say get the machine. Let's finish up the rest of our dough and I'll show you something quite interesting. This is a pasta drying rack and I'm sure most of you are already familiar with it. But if you're not, I'll show you how to use it anyway. Pull out the legs and place it on an even surface. Then twist the knob on top to reveal the racks. This pasta rack is called a collapsible pasta rack. Pick up your pasta strands, shake off excess flour, then gently drape them over the racks. Be sure to spread them apart for proper airflow. Let your pasta strands dry for 6 to 24 hours. Follow the same steps if you're looking to make noodles with your ALKALINE pasta. As you can see, both pastas came out really crisp and dried up. If properly dried, these will store in a cool dry place for up to 3 months. So these were hung out to dry for only 6 hours. Listen to this. If you're an alkaline vegan who travels a lot for business or pleasure, you could package some of these and take them along with you. Since you now know how to make and dry fresh pasta, let me throw in a bonus recipe. Over here, I have about 2 cups of fresh organic cherry tomatoes. I ate some of these raw and they were extremely delicious, so I decided to make a recipe out of them. Since they're still on their vines, I'm just going to pluck them off. When I'm done, I'll give them a quick rinse. Remember, alkaline vegans only eat cherry and plum tomatoes. Now I'm going to slice about half of them in half. Next, I'm going to roughly chop 1 onion. Dinner will be ready in 15 minutes. Add some avocado oil to a pan set to medium-high heat. Add your chopped onions and saute until fragrant. This is optional, but you could add some alkaline pasta sauce. This is the same sauce I used in my alkaline vegan pizza recipe. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Add a 1/4 cup of alkaline vegan pasta sauce, mix, and let it cook for 5 minutes on medium-high heat. You can add any alkaline vegan spices and herbs of your choice, but these are the ones that worked for me. Add some sea salt to taste. Add 1 teaspoon of dried basil. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of dried thyme, followed by a 1/4 teaspoon of summer savory. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Give it a good mix, then we're going to add our cherry tomatoes. Add your cherry tomatoes and let them cook anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes on medium-high heat. The sauce is done, so I'm moving it aside to cook my pasta. In a large pot, bring some water to a boil. Add some sea salt to taste. Once the water comes to a boil, we're going to add our fresh pasta. Add your fresh pasta, but make sure to loosen them up. As soon as you add your pasta strands to the water, make sure you swirl them around to stop them from sticking together. If you want to, you can save some pasta water for your sauce. Let your fresh pasta cook for exactly 1 minute, then drain. Add your pasta to your sauce, then mix carefully or toss. Again, this is optional, but you could add your pasta water and let it cook for 1 extra minute. If you want to take this to the next level, roll up some fresh basil, thinly slice them and add them to your pasta. Finally, add 3 tablespoons of coconut aminos, mix and immediately take it off the stove. Pour over some cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. Buon appetito! Thank you for watching this video. As I mentioned earlier, I'll be giving away 1 pasta maker on Instagram, so don't forget to follow me. And don't forget to hit the like button. I'll see you all next week. Cleaning your pasta maker is really easy. All you need is a pastry brush. However, if you're doing a deep cleaning, that's an entirely different story. If you want to learn more about my pasta maker, click on the video above.